Hi guys, welcome back to another video. What do we have today? We have a 2013 Volvo. I'm not very familiar on these things, but I'm assuming she's a Volvo V60 or some of these yokes. Anyway, it's a bigger one. I'll find out for you in a second. Haven't a clue. What do we have? Customer's complaint. Customer's complaint is the chap that rang me. His wife was at the traffic lights, went to take off, car gave it, and then stopped and didn't start again. Now it won't crank. So we have 280,000 kilometers on it, but we have the key in and we press our clutch into the ground and press. So it is giving us a change, but it's not turning over or starting. What's this now? It's the auto start. Okay, so that was like where it tried to start. If I press the button once, I'm assuming that it's going to try and control the starter motor, and if it doesn't control the starter motor, well, all of a sudden it decides to kick its heels. Do it again. Thought I heard a click somewhere. Okay, right. Anyway, it's not starting. So we have the start button pressed. Press the start button. So press the start button, it goes away. Okay, just trying to get a key is in. Fast code scan. Didn't even look underneath the bonnet yet. ECM, engine control module. U0167, lost communication with vehicle immobilizer control module. General fault information, no subtype information. Integrated audio module. Don't really need to get that. 12 volt supply circuit. General electrical fault circuit open short to battery. So there's our... Okay, well, our radio works anyway. I'm assuming integrated audio module is going to be that. Power steering. Control module input A, general electric fault, circuit voltage below threshold. And then we have U300-362, battery voltage algorithm-based faults, signal compare fault. So it's looking at some kind of voltages somewhere that it's cross-comparing, I would be thinking. There is, I know, in this car, two batteries. There is an auxiliary battery somewhere and there is a main battery. And how do I know that? I know that because we do a lot of maintenance or minding on this car. And I know that we have Alan in Dacia Diagnostics. Check out his channel, lads, by the way. Who works here for me. Has replaced both batteries in this. Not in the immediate, but just off my head. And I also know he replaced injectors in it and timing belt. This is all over a 3-year time span as a kind of a good maintenance thing. He could have even done a clutch in it. You know, I'm thinking back 2-3 years because I'd see and be aware of what the man has spent on this thing. So we have, I believe, 2 batteries in it. What are we going to do? We'll stall out. I might go in and see, can I do an actual, do you know what? I'd quick erase. Boom. Is she doing it? It's doing something weird, is it? Is that, oh, because I cycled the key on and off. I bet you it's after doing some kind of crazy stuff on me. Yeah, okay. How do we get out of this? So, back. The ignition is on there now, but there's something weird that's happening here. Okay, better figure this thing out and see where we're at. Okay, we just lost communication because I was cycling the key on and off. So once I hit on my VCI, I went back in. We're back in again. Clear faults. Here we are. We have that B1B6915, 12 volt supply, general electric fault, circuit open, short to battery, permanent fault. Okay, so I suppose that's where we're going to be heading, and we'll see what happens as well when we... What happens if we press the key? Maybe I won't do that while it's doing a scan, but it's going to be most likely a fuse or wire or, you know, something along those lines. Neither here nor there. We'll have to go and hunt this down. Before I start, I'm just looking at a little bit of live data in engine management. Starter relay 1, starter relay 2, battery relay, secondary battery relay, and then engine ECU power just for us. A little bit low, 11.9 volts. Could be like that because on recovery trucks and all that and stop the traffic lights, I'm actually going to press that, but I'm going to press that while you're actually looking at this, okay? So clutch to the floor, button pressed, now on. So okay, so we're seeing all of the relays are trying to actually do something here. That light come on. Oh, the light's above my head came on. While I was pressing the button, but it's probably battery low. So look, we are getting control anyway of our button. Button pressed, button released. And then there's a relay, I'd say, is controlling, or they're getting controlled by a relay, these two down here. That'll probably switch off themselves if I press the button and turn it off. Again, the lights are going back on when I turn off the car. Okay, right, it's time to get in and just see what's happening. Do we get into the starter to start with? Is that fault code we have in here to do why we want to start, or what the heck is going on? But it's a case of, my mantra was that maybe she just stalled at the traffic lights, and then when she did, the starter motor decided to kick its heels or something like that. But we might get it in in the workshop or on the lift and see where we're. Okay guys, getting a little bit dark, but I just had a little bit of time to try and figure out what's wrong with this before I go away. Went up, had a little bit of a look at wiring diagrams on Autodata. F9 fuses for the starter. Thought I might be able to get in at F9 fuse, but I can't locate F9 fuse at this point in time. I headed down and around and tried to get into the starter motor. I have located a starter motor solenoid wire. It's actually kind of, yeah, if we can see it in there, it's that little singular wire running across just there, down low, if you can see that one wire there. And you can see my back probing pin is jammed into it. Doesn't make much for a video, but anyway, neither here nor there. When I have it jammed into it, what I can see is that we have a ground in there, and that ground is going to be coming from the actual windings of the solenoid on the side of the starter motor, i.e. the engine is grounded, starter motor is bolted on, coming out through them windings, and the wire is going to become live. And when I press the start button, and when I press the start button, in theory, if I see voltage coming here, that solenoid should engage and give us a starter reaction. So what I've done is, by back probing it there, I actually sent power in off of camera, and it done 0. And because it done 0, that's making me think, okay, we straightforwardly have a starter motor gone. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump in, I'm going to press the button, and we're going to stay focused on that little green light there. It's 0 volts on my power probe. Once I press the button in here, if that turns red, we have a starter is all gone. So it doesn't make for fantastic recording purposes, but the start button is there. My green little light is out there. I'm going to press the clutch. Now if you can stay focused on that, will I get my light out of the way? See it turning red? I can't get you in. And I can also hear a little, the light's just turned on there now. I can also hear a starter motor relay, which is one of these, but I didn't go in to the starter motor relay, but I probably should have. Maybe it would have been easier than stabbing it in there, but just, I walked down from up the back without actually identifying where the relay itself was. So because of that, I'm saying that our circuit is intact, because I'm getting power down here when I press the button. And we're simply a starter motor that's gone in this thing. And in theory, a starter motor is going to do the job. That's my... If we had a fault or a problem on the high voltage wire, high amperage wire, or the main battery terminal, battery positive wire going to it, we would just have no cranking, but we'd have a click coming from the solenoid. But I have nothing coming from anything in here. I'm condemning that starter motor. Don't really need to see a starter motor being fitted, but we're going to get one out, and I'll show you this thing going at least in, and then bench test it and fit the new one. All right, we have the Volvo pushed into the workshop, and it's all starting to make sense to me a little bit at this stage. Anyway, what's starting to make sense? This thing was driving, it stopped the traffic lights, and then it decided to not go again. So it broke down in a sense, but what I'm realizing at this point in time is it's a start-stop system. It's a Drive-E Volvo S80. And because the starter motor and the battery and all that are start-stop, what happened at the traffic lights is she decided to turn off, as in stop, and then start up again. But it didn't start up again because the starter motor was out there failing. Most likely had enough to start when they were taken off, but then decided to not have enough G's in it to fire up thereafter. Have the battery on charge. I'm going to get this starter motor here renewed. Thought it might be just standard enough, a little bit more expensive because of the start-stop stuff. Lads were telling me that they didn't think it was going to be start-stop, but yet there is an AGM battery in it, and we went back to the dealers to find out it is, lo and behold, start-stop. So this is what happened. It turned off the lights, wouldn't fire up again, and here's where we're at. We'll get the starter motor swapped out and make sure this thing is going, and then bench test the old starter. From the bottom, it's not as bad as a Volvo or anything. Sorry, Volvo. Not as bad as a Ford or a Peugeot engine. There's our starter motor. That's the little control wire just there. I was back probing, and where we were getting the control to, or the 12 volt feed to, and then when I sent power into it, I couldn't make this thing crank over. So hence we're condemning that under tray to be taken off and get this thing swapped out as fast as I can. Starter motor fitted, not so bad. Only thing I had an issue with was gear selectors had to come off to get in at some of the top bolts. Other than that, I didn't take out airbox or battery, any of that. I was able to get a lot of it from here, just an under tray, and a couple of bolts then I got from the bottom. That's it. Old starter sitting there, and yeah, we'll get in while we're going and press the button and see what happens. Now we had the battery on charge while we were. Oop, sorry, no crack. Lift's being tight. 280,000 kilometers on this, if anyone is inquisitive. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, right, that was nice and fast. And oh, there we go. This Drive E crack on bonnet open. Okay, we'll get this thing closed down. We can pull it out, put my engine cover and stuff on. I have the under tray put on underneath. I was fairly confident. So at this point in time, all I'm going to do is probably bench test our old one just to show what's after happening here. Car still running in the background. All I use is my generic battery pack. Negative on the body of the starter motor, positive on the positive battery terminal here. Then I have a little jumper cable on the solenoid wire, and all I'm going to do then is just give a little. This is like the switch, that's the ignition switch we call it. In theory, once I send power in here to the solenoid, I should liven up that solenoid here. We should have that plunger goes back. It then should connect these two terminals here to make this starter motor go. So it's going to go. Can we get it all in shot? Okay, nothing at all. Positive to here again. Nothing. Positive to here again. Nothing. Okay, starter motor. Quite simply, and I better watch out because my trolley is steel. The steel starter sitting on the trolley and the ground is on there, and I'd have sparks everywhere again trying to blow up stuff. Anyway, for this one, that's it. I'm hoping I'm not going to blow up anything. Wouldn't be abnormal for me to blow up something though. Yeah, for this one, that's it, lads. Starter motor on a Volvo S80 Drive E. Just to show you maybe what this Drive E is, the start-stop technology. So we run around, there she is, and that is what's telling us that it's start-stop, number one. Number two, the AGM battery in it, and then number three, the dealer confirming it. So starter motor caused this thing, when the car turned off at the traffic lights, in case it's noisy, when the car turned off at the traffic lights, start-stop, it just couldn't start. Hence it breaking down, but it wasn't really a breakdown situation. Its starter motor failed. Anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. Talk to you all next cartoon. Peter Kennedy signing out. See you later, lads.